On a cold October morning, mourners gathered for 8-year-old Emily's funeral. As the priest began speaking, a large black raven descended from the gray sky, landing on her white coffin. When someone tried to shoo it away, the bird refused to move. Then it started doing something no one had ever seen before. What this raven did next left everyone at the funeral in tears. On a chilly October morning, gray clouds hung low over Pine Grove Cemetery. The autumn wind swept through the trees, scattering golden leaves across the freshly cut grass. Mourners huddled together, their black coats pulled tight against the cold as they gathered for the funeral of 8-year-old Emily Parker. The scene was heartbreaking. A small white coffin sat before the crowd, adorned with pink roses, Emily's favorite flowers. Her parents, Karen and James, stood at the front, their faces etched with the unbearable pain that only parents who have lost a child can understand. The other mourners, family, friends, teachers, and classmates, struggled to comprehend why someone so young had been taken from them. As the priest began his eulogy, speaking of Emily's bright smile and gentle spirit, something extraordinary happened. A large black raven descended from the gray sky, its wings spread wide against the clouds. The bird landed gracefully on Emily's coffin, its dark feathers a stark contrast against the white surface. The mourners stirred uneasily. Ravens weren't uncommon in the area, but their presence at funerals often carried dark symbolism. Someone from the back row stepped forward, waving their hands to shoo the bird away, but instead of flying off, the raven simply hopped to another corner of the coffin, maintaining its position with unusual determination. The priest paused, unsure how to proceed. The crowd whispered among themselves, some suggesting they should forcefully remove the bird, but Karen, Emily's mother, raised her hand to stop them. There was something about the raven's behavior that touched her deeply, though she couldn't explain why. As the ceremony continued, the raven remained perfectly still, its dark eyes fixed on the coffin. Unlike the harsh caws typically associated with these birds, this raven occasionally made soft, gentle cooing sounds that seemed almost mournful. The longer it stayed, the more the atmosphere in the cemetery began to shift from discomfort to curiosity. Hours passed and most mourners had left. Only the immediate family remained, along with the groundskeeper who needed to proceed with the burial, yet the raven showed no intention of leaving its post. They waited, watching in amazement as the bird began to gently peck at the coffin's surface, not aggressively but almost tenderly, as if trying to reach something, or someone, inside. It was only when the first shovel of earth hit the coffin that the raven finally moved. It flew to a nearby oak tree, perching on a low branch where it could watch the burial proceed. The bird's behavior was so unusual that even the groundskeeper, who had worked at the cemetery for over 2 decades, admitted he had never seen anything like it. But this was just the beginning of the mystery. In the days that followed, the raven began appearing regularly at Emily's grave. Each morning the groundskeeper would find small, shiny objects carefully arranged around her headstone, a piece of colored glass, a silver button, a small key, even a child's bracelet. These weren't random pieces of trash. They appeared to be deliberately chosen and placed with care. Karen, struggling to make sense of these events, began asking questions around the neighborhood. Had anyone else noticed this strange raven? Did anyone know why it seemed so attached to Emily's grave? The answers were always the same: confused looks and sympathetic shakes of the head. Some suggested it was just a coincidence, while others wondered if perhaps the bird had made its nest nearby. But Karen couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this story. The way the raven looked at the grave, how it brought these little treasures, it all seemed too intentional to be random. Her instincts told her she was missing something important. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. During a conversation with Emily's 4th-grade teacher, Miss Wilson, something caught Karen's attention. Emily used to spend a lot of time writing in her diary during lunch breaks, she said. She was very protective of it, always keeping it close. A diary? Karen had never seen Emily with a diary. That evening she and James went through their daughter's room, something they hadn't been able to bring themselves to do since her passing. Hidden under the mattress, they found a small notebook bound in purple leather. With trembling hands, Karen opened the diary. The first pages were filled with typical entries about school and friends, but as they read on, they discovered an extraordinary secret their daughter had kept from everyone. Page after page revealed beautiful, detailed drawings of a raven, not just any raven, but one Emily had named Mr. Midnight. Her careful sketches captured every detail, the gleam in his eye, the subtle blue sheen of his feathers, even the way he tilted his head when listening. But it was Emily's words that truly took their breath away. The diary told the story of an unexpected friendship that began during the early days of Emily's illness, when she became too weak to attend school regularly. While her parents had worried about her spending lonely days in the backyard, Emily had been far from alone. "Mr. Midnight visited again today," one entry read. "He brought me a blue marble. It reminds me of the ocean Dad promised we'd visit someday. I keep all his presents in my special box under the porch steps." Another entry described their daily routine. "He always comes at breakfast time. Mom thinks I'm not eating much, but I share my toast with Mr. Midnight. He likes the crusts best, which is perfect because I don't like them anyway." As Karen and James turned each page, their vision blurred with tears. They discovered how Mr. Midnight would perch on the garden fence, listening intently as Emily read her favorite stories aloud. How he seemed to sense when she was having particularly difficult days, staying longer and bringing extra treasures to cheer her up. The diary revealed moments of pure joy in Emily's final months that her parents had never known about. "Today, Mr. Midnight brought me a shiny penny," she wrote. "He watched me make a wish on it. I wished I could fly with him, just once, to see the world from up high. He made his special cooing sound. I think he understood. But there was still more to uncover." Karen contacted Emily's school, wondering if there might be any evidence of this unusual friendship. The school's security cameras told an amazing story. Footage showed Emily spending her lunch breaks in the courtyard, away from the other children. But she wasn't alone. Day after day, the cameras captured her sitting on the same bench, sharing her lunch with a large raven. The bird would arrive precisely as she sat down, landing beside her with surprising gentleness. Teachers passing by had noticed, but assumed it was just a passing interest of a lonely child. They never realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Emily's final diary entry, dated just 3 days before she passed away, made Karen's heart ache with both sadness and gratitude. "Mom and Dad worry about me being alone, but they don't know about you, Mr. Midnight. You're the best secret friend anyone could have. I hope you'll remember me when I'm gone. Thank you for making every day special, even the hard ones." As Karen closed the diary, so many things suddenly made sense. The raven's behavior at the funeral, its daily visits to the grave, the mysterious objects left behind. They weren't random acts. They were expressions of grief and remembrance from a friend who was keeping his promise to remember Emily. Going back to check the box under the porch steps, Karen and James found Emily's treasure collection, dozens of small, shiny objects matching those the raven now left at her grave. Each item told a story of a day when their daughter had found joy and friendship, even as her illness progressed. Now, every Sunday, the family visits Emily's grave together. They bring special treats, pieces of toast with extra crust, and leave them for Mr. Midnight. The raven still comes, though less frequently than before. Sometimes he stays for hours, perched on the headstone, making his gentle cooing sounds that seem to speak of memories and friendship. Other families in the cemetery have grown used to the sight of the large black bird. Children sometimes point and ask their parents about it, and the story of Emily and Mr. Midnight is shared in whispers, a reminder that love and friendship can appear in the most unexpected forms. Through their daughter's secret diary, Karen and James discovered not just the truth about the mysterious raven's behavior, but also a profound comfort. In her final months, when they had feared she was lonely and afraid, Emily had found something remarkable. A friend who crossed the boundaries between species to bring light into her darkening world. Mr. Midnight still brings occasional treasures to Emily's grave. A bright button, a piece of colored glass, a shiny coin. Each gift is a testament to a friendship that transcended not only the usual boundaries between humans and animals but even the boundary between life and death itself.